Hello and welcome to the Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing,
Twin Peaks.
our favourite. So this I had mixed feelings about because I was thinking to myself it was like a good episode purely in the sense that like nothing really happened. It was
Yeah,
just
I liked it. I did, but
it
I
was
don't know what the hell was going on.
it was just easy to watch. You know what I mean? So
It's a good time, but I mean, let's get right. What was it? What didn't they end up? Let's take it chronologically. So we start with Cooper, right,
yeah.
and a blind woman.
Well, he's falling through the little stars bit, and then like obviously the cameraman's just like that, you know what I mean, for the
Yeah,
effect. And then he lands in a bunch of boxes. Then he kind of don't he climb through something and is into a room, and then there's a woman in red with no eyes, and she's kind of like just making weird noises, and is kind of looking at the thing on the wall. There's a weird thing on the wall, and like it says 15 on it. I clocked that it said 15 on it. So like there's some weird banging on the door and stuff like that, and that was weird. And then she's just like, "Yo, be quiet," and it's just like whatever then. And then eventually they go up to like I don't know some sort of roof or something, and
this is where it lost me.
then there's like I guess like a bell end.
Yeah, but in the end, they look like they're in space.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What?
Well, Well, it's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe they're in like an
It is, isn't it?
ultimate dimension. So there's this weird bell thing, and she's eyeing, looking at him, and she's still just making like nonsensical. She's saying stuff, but and then the guy's just like, you know what I mean. Then she pulls a switch. This was like a great bit. She pulls a weird switch on it, and I guess kind of gets electrocuted, and then just like backflips off it and then falls into nothingness. And then like a face kind of comes by real slow, and then says Blue Rose, and then he's just standing there looking like what's going on. And then he decides to go back down, but at least the banging stopped now. When she zapped herself, the banging stopped. So he goes down back into that room, and then he looks at the weird thing, and it's like 3 now. It's got a number 3 on it. So I was like, oh, okay then. So then, yeah, there's like the woman in red, but now she's got eyes, and she's like a character from like the old Twin Peaks, where she looks like someone, and I can't remember her name. And she's just like, I can't. What she say? I can't remember what she says, but he like keeps walking to that weird thing with the 3 on it, and it keeps zapping him. And then like in the real world, I guess you've got the doppelganger of him with the long hair driving down a road, and then he's tweaking out and getting like double vision, and like going down the road. And then it kind of keeps looking at the clock, which is just about to go to 3. So I'm thinking maybe the 15 and the 3 meant something, or maybe the 3 was just like, look, it's 3 o'clock. I don't know. So anyway, he ends up flipping his car out, and then like I guess Dale's like keeps zapping himself, and then he like goes through the thing, like really weird. He kind of goes through it, and his shoes fall off. And then the guy kind of yeah, so the guy flips his car out, and then we go to another I guess doppelganger of Dale, who's like Dougie Love, and like he's with a hooker who had a big behind. I clocked that, and yeah, it's like it's going on like his arm was hurting, and then so I was thinking, oh, is he having a heart attack or something? So she goes into the shower, and then he drops and starts crawling on the floor, and then he throws up and kind of passes out, I guess. And then we're kind of looking at the plug sockets that look like surprised faces, you know what I mean? And then the guy in the car, the like doppelganger we've seen before, he starts throwing up some dirty stuff, and then I guess Dougie kind of like zaps out, and then he appears in the red room or the black lodge or whatever, and is just kind of sitting there, and then his hand starts. Well, the guy says, "Oh, you were created for a purpose." So I was kind of thinking, is that like a failsafe? Like, if like the doppelganger died, then instead of him going, this Dougie guy goes. But I guess like the doppelganger's like cacked out as well. And then, so yeah. And then his hand starts to shrink and like the ring falls off. Then his head pops off. And then there's a weird little orb thing, and then he just like vanishes, I guess, and it drops a little like gold pebble and the ring, and then the one-armed guy puts the ring on the table, and you don't really see the golden pebble.
Right, so because he's now gone and back in the lodge, that's why Dale can get out.
I guess so. So yeah, Dale kind of like comes out the plug socket, and then is lying on the floor, and is like fully like duh, you know what I mean, like backwards.
Yeah.
So she's like, yo, let's go, let's get out of here. And he's got a little key in his pocket with Twin Peaks on it, which is I guess what he had before he got zapped in the room. And then she's like, oh, I'll give you a lift or whatever. So they drive off, and then you got like two guys outside, two bookie guys, who just happens to have like a Dragunov sniper rifle in his car and that. So I'm thinking they're kind of in Vegas, because like where they are with like all the sand about and like the little kind of one-story houses, that reminds me
Oh
of
yeah,
like
he does
just
go to a casino at some point as well, doesn't he? So
yeah, but that could be like anywhere. That could be like in
oh yeah, but obviously, but if you throw in everything around it and then
Yeah.
they go to the casino,
It looked like super like just outside Vegas, like them little like houses and stuff like that. So they're driving and they're like, oh, is Dougie in the car? And then it's like, yo, I don't know whether I saw him, but his car's still here. So like, oh, okay then. Then he checks with his sniper rifle, and he just happens to drop the key and duck down. So he's like, oh, no one's there. So then they guess I guess they put like a bomb underneath his car, and the little kid's watching. And then there's like, I don't know, like a crack addict or whatever. Or maybe a heroin addict, because she had a pill, didn't she? So I mean, that could be that Subutex or whatever. So she's like, has that and bangs the thing. She's all scabby and stuff. And then yeah, and then they kind of arrive at the casino, and then it's just going round like call for help. So the woman gives him change and then points him, I guess, towards the phone, but he ends up like wandering towards the jackpot machines, and they've got the little red room curtains over it, and everyone he pulls, he kind of like wins the jackpot, I guess. And then the little scabby lady, he points at one, and then there's like a scabby lady, and she's having none of it. And then he keeps going around doing it, and then she goes and does it and gets gassed off it. And then you've got like back into
what
him.
was that he was seeing? Was it the room?
Yeah. It was like the weird floor and like the carpet. I don't know what that had to do with anything. So yeah, when we got they kind of went to Twin Peaks, I guess, and you had like Hawk doing his little investigation, and they're trying to figure out like what's going on, and you had like some guy spray painting shovels gold. You had that for about 2 minutes. I was like, oh, okay then. You know what I mean? So yeah, then they start going on about chocolate bunnies for like ages, because the chick like ate the evidence.
I like those two. I think they're funny. I definitely think I wondered where they were going with it. As much as I like them, I'm like, okay, you're dragging us on a little with the bunny thing. But when what's the deputy sheriff's name?
Comb over.
No. The deputy sheriff's Native American guy, isn't he?
What, the guy with the like big comb over?
Native American.
He had like a comb over, and his hair was like up there. Or Hawk. Are you talking about Hawk or the?
Yeah, Hawk's the Native American, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hawk, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about comb over.
No. So when at first, when they were banging on about the bunny, I'm like, okay, this is it. it's just funny, and then it's gone off David Lynch and it's dragged on with it. But it won me back when Hawk started to question himself if it was about the bunny. And then, was that the end?
That was the end of their little interaction, I guess. And then I guess the police officers or highway people turn up at,
that's right, yeah.
at the thing. And then Laurel and Hardy, as I like to call them, my man goes up to the car and he's like, and then the guys like, oh, yeah. So they kind of, get him out of there, and they're just bungling around like morons. And then like at the FBI office, I guess they're looking at the thing with the box. I guess they found how they found them though, because I mean, if there's no guards and no one going in the room, I don't know how they managed to find like the bodies or whatever. So yeah, they had photos of that crime scene, and they were talking about that and like the video thing and how they saw like a weird shadow thing. And
well, someone has to go in the room eventually.
I guess so.
Because the guy leaves, doesn't he? He goes home at some point.
Yeah, because they say like how there's guards, but we can't find any of them. Well, it would have been clear if they were just like, oh, there's another guy who guards it, and he went in there and found the bodies, but they didn't say that. Then they get a phone call that apparently they found Cooper, and they're like, yeah, in North Dakota, which I pretty much think that means they've found the doppelganger one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we had like a scene like at the Bang Bang bar or whatever, where it was just like two guys singing, and the one in the dark.
That's how they were then, isn't it? It's music.
The one in the dark suit had no charisma. He had none. I was thinking that, I was just watching it, and I was thinking that one in the dark suit's got absolutely, it's just. So yeah, let's talk numbers. That's exactly everything that happened in the episode. Oh, yeah. And there's a weird thing at the FBI office as well, like with the pictures and someone's killed someone's wife and he left the clues in the garden, and there was like two pictures of women and then a little guy in shorts and then weird like, I don't know, nutcrackers or whatever, and then like a thing of nuts. It was all very strange.
I think strange sums up the entire thing. I guess that's the point.
Well, it's interesting because it's got like 18 episodes.
Really?
Yeah, 18 episodes, so I'm sitting there thinking, are they just going to like every so often just blow out one of these episodes where, I guess,
with this, I'm going to give it an 8. With this episode, like I said with the first episode of this season, I watched a pilot a long time ago and didn't really get it. But with this episode, I finally do understand the whole thing about the show being super engaging, even though you don't understand what the hell is happening. I don't know what happened. I watched it. You basically just laid out the entire plot of what happened again there. I still don't quite understand what happened, but who cares? I had fun watching it, so 8.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7.5. It was easy watching. It was like weird, but there wasn't like a lot of moving pieces, so it wasn't like. Or like the first couple of episodes, they were weird, but there was a lot going on, but there was only like literally 3 things going on in this episode, so it wasn't like jumping from like and me being like, well, that's weird, and not being able to put the pieces.
Yeah, it's like super tricky and your sounds cut out. It was like super tricky. There was no sound for the first 15 minutes, I think, but no dialogue.
Yeah.
And I think Kyle MacLachlan, at least facially, like he sold me on the first 15 minutes. So he looked like he didn't know what the hell was happening as well. So, I'm enjoying it. I still don't get it, but what the hell?
I feel like the FBI guy's like the worst actor.
Oh, that's David Lynch, isn't he?
What, the guy who answered the phone call?
The grey hair, yeah.
Oh yeah, he was like shouting on the phone. I was like, what's he doing, man?
That's David Lynch. I'm thinking, I could be wrong. I think the other guy, he looked like Miguel Ferrer, but isn't he dead? Unless some of this filmed earlier. It could be.
Yeah, I guess so, because like the log lady, she's dead, isn't she? But she filmed the scenes in like 2015.
I could be wrong, but it looked like it was Miguel Ferrer. But yeah, okay.
Could be. So yeah, that's our review of this episode. It was easy to watch.
There was. Is it same a girl for her? There's something for her. Thing from Robocop.
The only thing I know is I'm Sam.
And I'm Matt.
And this has been the Superhero Hub.